Yo, what's up? Same shit, different toilet. Yo, thanks, Corgus. Thank you. Thank you, Corgus. Appreciate it. All that engagement helps. Princess Alex Chan, I'm listening to Deftones radio. There you go. Whoever the Tim Lewis is. Yeah. Deftones is up there. It's probably one of my favorite bands. I mean, it's up there. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but they're up there. What's up, Flores? You know why it looks a little easy right now is because I'm so used to doing a lot of my line art on the train or in motion. So when I like do it and I'm actually sitting here, it's like far easier, you know, doing it than like, you know, doing it when I'm on a train. So the issue that I have here is when I live stream, unfortunately, like my CPU is not, you know, I need to change the weight on how much I put into the program opposed to how much I have processing for everything else, because then I get the parallax effect really seriously, like with the fucking pen. But you know, I actually liked that song. I should have saved it, added it to a playlist, but it'll come back around. Saw your story on not bothering artists unnecessarily. Trying not to ask a million questions, but thank you for the explanation. Yeah, no, it's not. One, as an artist, like, thoroughly appreciate that. It's not so much about, you know, bothering artists, like you said, unnecessarily. It's just like, you know, like, let's say you want to get to know your favorite artist, something like that. Messaging them and just saying hey or yo, like forcing them to make the effort to make the conversation, you know, like with you. This is not meant like in any negative way. You know, their time, in my opinion, should be better spent, like, you know, making good things for people to be able to see. But if you start the conversation with them and you're like, hey, what's up, man? Like, how you doing? Like your work? Blah, 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 blah. Just want to say what's up. That person's going to be like, oh, okay, hey, man, thanks for whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then you might be able to ask them a question like, hey, you know, I'm looking at your work. I see you're influenced by whatever, or I think you're influenced by this, but, you know, what are some of your favorite anime or suggestions or something? You know, like, strike a social conversation, you know, with the individual. And not necessarily place the onus on them so much to, you know, forge forward in a conversation, when in the back of their head, most of us as artists are like, we need to practice, we got to get better, you know, we got to make sure we're making stuff good and not doing the same shit over and over again. Yo, Warren, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Make some adjustments on the fly. I feel like that always feels better. Yeah, but to continue that, like, artists, you know, we do want to get to know you guys and have those conversations. It's just, you know, it's not that easy when you're, like, dividing your time and stuff between, you know, work and everything else. So See, this is the type of shit that gets me, man. Out of nowhere, my fucking pen just went from 100% to 80%, and I don't even know where that 80% started. Did it start here? Fuck. That's annoying. Fuck, man. Did it start here? You gotta be kidding me, dog. Fucking, I'm gonna duplicate it. Here, this is Chevelle, the red, I think. I listened to a lot of 90s, early 2000s metal, new metal. Yeah, like, it's funny, even, you know, growing up in the hood and just being involved in mad wild shit, there was always a small part of me that actually really liked rock. You know, like, I didn't know what to look up or how to look for it, but when I did hear it, I'm like, I fuck with this. You know, I just appreciate that I could be a part of the watch list. Just working on the commission right now. I'm doing inks for it. How do I come up with ideas? In order to be like a producer, you have to also be a consumer. So a lot of my ideas just ultimately come from, you know, like living, you know, just being an observer to life, right? As long as you're constantly observing things, you'll constantly pick up things of inspiration. I'm largely inspired by black people of color, you know, so I just find ways and look up ways to, introduce myself. I do a lot of research. I spend a lot of time, you know, while I'm at work, listening to YouTube lectures about stuff. Like, I watched a small documentary about a tribe of a village of just all women in Kenya called the Majo. And basically, you know, they still have female mutilation that's there. And a lot of women broke away and decided to start their own kind of village. And it's been successful. The way they make money is they sell in jewelry and stuff like that. But, you know, just learning a little bit about the area, some of the traditions and, you know, newfound things. For example, like this village just started sparking up a lot of villages that have a matriarchal leadership establishment. So yeah, it's just interesting to learn, and like that's inspiring to me, you know. So like maybe in one of my stories I'll create an area, you know, where there's a matriarchal system. Actually, in one of my stories I do have that. It's the Enlightened Sisters in the MIA from a kind of a fantasy story that I wrote up several years ago, which I feel like is kind of like going to be my magnum opus. Like once I get better at drawing and once I get better at storytelling, that'll probably be the story that like I really want to bring to light. Do I watch documentaries on black artists? Not so much. I mean, I don't really watch documentaries of artists in general. I probably should, though. Most of my documentaries are things on history or mythology, things about storytelling, kind of ancient stuff. So I've always been interested in stuff like that. I took 4 years of Latin in high school, and I took, when I was in college for design, I took art history for, I want to say, almost 4 years of schooling while I was there. So I'm really into the historical aspects of, like, understanding the things that we've done in the past and how they've just, dictate how we move, nowadays in the future. I did watch a little documentary on, Jesus Christ, who's the black dude who started Milestone, or one of the black people that started Milestone? Something Duffy, Jesus Christ, I should know his name. Started the Dakotaverse, and the reason why we get a chance to see Static Shock and Icon and Rocket and shit like that in Young Justice and some of the DC properties like Justice League and shit like that. I think it was Justice League Unlimited. Like this. Yeah, it's something Dwayne Duffy or something like that. Fuck, I should know this. Kavion Cook clean lines. How hard is it to find the right brush? I don't even use a special brush. I literally just use the G pen. It's probably laziness on my part, because I know sometimes people make their own brushes. But I know a lot of, like, really well-known artists, and they just use the basic G pen that's in there. It's never really the fucking tools, you know what I mean? It's really the artist behind the tools, man. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a tool it get you, especially for this type of craft. You just got to be able to know how to wield it. When did I start drawing? I mean, I started drawing as a kid, but I never took it seriously. I didn't start drawing seriously until 2014, where I decided I would draw every day, no matter what. There's also the guy who did Boondocks. Yeah, that's Aaron Magruder. I used to read his comic books in the newspaper. Yeah, Aaron Magruder's on another level. I don't know what he's doing now. I think he just has a lot of, executive, like, kind of producer writing roles at this point. Don't like the song. Is this Mastodon? I think it is. Dwayne McDuffie, thank you. I knew it was like the Duffy was in there. I can't remember what I called him at first. Yeah, he passed away like maybe 4 years ago. Trent Doyle Hancock, I'll check them out. I want to start posting my drawings, but I don't know if they're good enough. Do you guys got any tips? It doesn't matter whether your art is good or not, you just post it. The only reason why I started posting my artwork in the first place is because when I decided I wanted to draw every day, I was doing other shit and so many other things that, like, I wanted to be able to critique my work, like, every time I draw with intention to get better, not just to draw for fun per se. And so in order to do that, One of the big things that you should, be considering regularly is looking at your work and critiquing it. Not just looking at it as, man, I drew this thing today, but be thinking it to yourself, like, how can I change this? How can I make this better? How can I, what mistakes have I made? Because I know I've made some consistently. Comparing your work to better artists to understand the difference between the two of you. And when Instagram allowed me to basically have a digital sketchbook that I can go back and constantly reference, whether I want to bring back characters or whether I would like to, whether I want to bring back characters or whether I would like to, figure out what I'm doing wrong and grow. So you have to post. It doesn't matter whether it's good or not. You'll start to see that you're getting better from whatever your starting point is. He almost single-handedly made DC relevant again. Actually, find you on Pinterest. Yeah, so I have a Pinterest. My Pinterest board's public because I want, I tell people all the time I use Pinterest a lot for reference. So, it's pretty key for my growth. So I actually have a life board where I take real life people who are like, contorting themselves in certain ways or sitting in a way that would probably be difficult to draw. And then I save those and I spend time trying to, draw those difficult things because I know if I can draw that, I can add it to like my visual dictionary, my lexicon. And so it's really about just helping myself just kind of grow and get better and be able to use references and stuff. It's pretty crucial. Reference shots. I use references sometimes. You should, honestly, if you want to be a good artist, you should use them all the time. The only reason why I don't use them all the time is because sometimes I'm moving very quickly. So I'm just, I'm not really using references because I'm moving very quickly to do something. So, but you should be using references almost every time. If you're going to draw a sweater, look up a reference of a sweater. If you're going to draw shoes or something, look up a reference of those shoes and draw it. Because really that's the way you actually get better. Because then you start to commit that shit to memory. It becomes second nature. Like, it's a fucking game changer. Thanks, Corvus. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining the stream. Oh my goodness, I'm fucking tired. And I'm just debating, do I just fucking shade these and then color them later? Because I need my phone for references. Oh, shit. You know what? Well, I got it up here. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. George, Guevara? What's up, man? For the people who ask me how to color, this is basically it. I do my lighting. Was always good at drawing and sketching? No. It's something I had to pick up and do very often. Unique, Dakbo, Unique, I'm just gonna call you Unique. What's up, man? George, you were one of my greatest inspirations to draw. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad I could do that, bro. I don't want to hear Pink from Death. Oh, fucking amazing work as always. Thank you. Like that cable, the cable. Also, fucking congested as fuck. It's even harder for me to speak. Do I wear any doubts on my artwork as an artist? Of course, all the time, every time I draw something. But very similarly to fear, like you can't really let it control what you do. You know, it's okay to be afraid. It's an intelligent response to danger. It's okay to like have issues with your artwork because it's the, you know, me being my hardest critic is what allows me to grow and get better. You know, I look at my work all day. You know, when I'm at my job, if I'm going to the bathroom or I'm standing up in the kitchen waiting for my food to like finish cooking or I'm waiting in line, I'm pulling up my artwork and I'm looking at it and I'm critiquing it, you know, because I need to be able to push it. You know, I need to be able to, in order for it to get better, in order for it to be competitive with, you know, what is out there. So, you know, some people, I'm in a different train of thought. Some people will say, like, no, don't be so hard on yourself. Recognize that you're going to grow and get better and change and all that stuff. And to some capacity, I do agree with that. But I also think that, you know, I think that works for some people. Some people need that. And then I think for other people like myself, like, you know, I need to push myself in order for me to enjoy what I'm doing, but in order for me to really, you know, feel like I'm getting results out of it. because I'm working hard towards something, regardless of how much is changing. So. Holy shit. Kavion Cook, gotta go to sleep. It's 1 in the morning for me. Catch you on the flip side. It's 1 in the morning for me too, man. But I appreciate you joining the chat. Thank you, Kavion. Appreciate it. Do your art have stories behind them? Yeah. I think stories inform the creative narrative, you know, at least for me. Most of the time I can autonomously draw, like just put lines on paper, but the moment I start like getting something down, like a character starts to develop, the story then starts to take place in my mind. Yeah, so most of them have stories behind them. Iko Abasi, what's up, man? Project Divider, yo, your work is fucking fire. Every time I see your stories or something you put out, I'm like, that's the style I wish I kind of picked up. You know, that's like, I wish my work went more in that direction. Your work is dope. So thanks for joining the stream, man. Thank you, I appreciate that. Especially, man, from someone like you. Melanie Manga, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. What are you listening to? Gojira? I've never heard Gojira, but I'll listen. Let's see what they have to offer. I can't listen to Screencore right now. Messiah. Yeah. Don't listen to shit right now. It's something melodic. This is good, but I want to come here and bring it into the neck, because that light will come with the impression. I believe. I don't draw fucking animals like that all the time, so. Drawing dog is a fucking bane of my existence. And this shit is not fucking easy, by any means. It's like a whole different form of fucking anatomy. But I think this is good. And I'm gonna cast shadow onto his leg. Thank you for everybody who's on the stream right now. Looks like they've added new stream shit. What is this? Questions from your story. Post question stickers to your story and share live responses. Oh. So what, do I type this shit in here and it turn into a question? Nah, this shit's being very extra. I'll just leave it be. Back to drawing. Let's cast more of a shadow here. You know what I actually recently just did that I felt like really improved my work a lot? At least for my faces, because I feel like one of my major problem areas is the way I draw faces, and like they don't, you know, they're not connected to a real kind of anatomy, or at least they weren't before I started doing this practice thing. So the eyes to me felt very flirty, the mouth, the nose, cheeks, you know, so shading the face also didn't, it was very difficult, and I felt like it was definitely the weakest point in my drawing, and I still think it is, because I really haven't developed the style that I enjoy, right? So, but I've been watching Proko's kind of quick sketches, and he did a day on the Loomis method. He did a couple days on the Loomis method, but that shit was so helpful, because then I started jumping to other, you know, artists' YouTubes that were, you know, drawing heads very quickly, and I just started getting that proportion of drawing heads like really well, and then it just started to click for me. So now when drawing faces, I feel like they're much better. I feel like when I'm shading them, they look better. Yeah, it's just clicking on like another level, in my opinion. So, oh, this is a really good Deftone song, actually. You guys got lucky. I'm not going to talk as much, I'm just going to turn this up real quick. This is kind of my shit. Do I watch anime? Yeah. All my work is inspired by anime, so hugely yes. My favorite animes of all time: Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, obviously big three. Parasite's actually up there. It's pretty high up there. But then, like, obviously you have the Watanabe stuff. So I would say, like, yeah, both Watanabe works are in top 5. So that includes Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, which had both of them had some of the best animation and soundtracks, in my opinion. Shonen storytelling, it's going to be Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. And then who would take that 5th spot? Probably Naruto, if I was dumping a top 5. I mean, those are shows that I can go back and watch consistently. Those are shows that have hit me emotionally. Those are shows that I feel, like, heavily inspired by when I think about, you know, the way I want to structure stories and how I want to tell action. Do I have other animes that I thoroughly love that are obscure? Abso-fucking-lutely. But, like, I've watched Yu Yu Hakusho straight through probably 3 or 4 times already. I've watched Hunter x Hunter, the original, and 2011 a stupid amount of times. I normally don't start at the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. I'll normally start, like, right at the beginning of the Hunter arc, or, like, you know, a little bit into the Hunter arc or whatever, Hunter license arc. But yeah, I've watched it multiple times, straight to the end. And I also am one of those assholes that reads the manga, so I get stuck reading the hiatuses. Have I seen Nana? That was a great soundtrack as well. I don't think I have. But yeah, I can check it out. And then, like, I don't watch shonen movies. So, like, I'll watch other movies like Your Name or anything like that, or like Earthsea, or things that are done by Miyazaki. But, like, if, you know, Naruto comes out with a movie or some shit like that, like, I only watch the last because I knew the last was canon to, like, shit moving forward. But, like, every other, like, One Piece movie or Naruto movie, none of that shit is canon. So, it, you know, for me, it feels very useless to fucking watch it. Yeah. Art of the Blanks. So, Art of the Whites. What's up, man? I'm gonna cast Shadowless Dog because he's actually in between her legs, so gonna get a little cast out of it. This is another good one. There was no storyline. I think it was mostly about artistic expression, and that's why so many people really enjoyed it. The storyline itself, I don't know, it's very similarly to the way, like, trying to think, in certain movies or shows, an inanimate object will ultimately be a character, right? It's very similar, like, to that movie as far as, like, there might not have been a particular plot line that you felt was strong, but the emotional aspect of it, the character building itself was the plot. It's like when, you know, people, it's like a slice of life shit. Like, you watch a slice of life and they're trying to go through certain points of the day, but, like, if you're not connected to what's being shown, then it seems like it was a waste of an episode. You know, of, like, why did I watch it? But, like, to me, you know, to you, you might not have been connected to it emotionally. So, you know, it didn't hit you in the places where it hit a lot of other people emotionally. reckon I could last another 13 minutes. It's been a long fucking day. Writer Fix, what's up? Did I see a silent voice? I have not seen that. The unfortunate thing, right, because I don't speak Japanese, and I do a shit ton of drawing regularly, that it's like, it removes me from a lot of new stuff. Unless like some shit happens where it's like I can't draw. You know what I mean? Like if I can't draw and I have to like do some other shit, like I don't know, wash the dishes or whatever, then I'll throw some shit on, you know? But a lot of the times I'm doing artwork, so it's like I gotta be looking down, I gotta kind of be focused, and so I don't get a chance to watch as much anime as I used to do when I didn't draw every day. Which is bad because, you know, like I said, like in order to really be a good producer, you have to be a consumer, you know, consume things that you like and then find ways to either make it your own or to, you know, evolve the process of what some of your favorite artists have done. Damn, they're playing a lot of things I like straight through. Nothing much, super tired of editing my book. But yeah, I can only imagine. Them books, man, editing them books. It's a lot. Fucking exhausted. I hope that niggas are lazy at work tomorrow. I'm really hoping that people get it to work tomorrow and they're just fucking phoning it in. Because I work with too many people to have everybody just fucking like keyed up and trying to get their project done. And being like, yo, Mike, can you do this thing? It's like, fucking God, dude. If I do this, I really should bring this down this way. That to me feels stronger. My legs come from here anyway, we're just gonna bring this back. Once you get a chance to watch more movies, their art style of the movies are amazing. Alright, we'll check it out. That little rim light was nice. I'll keep that there. Get some light shine past the dark, this way. Then there's a little light behind her, so it's getting over here just fine. I will clear this out now. Pretend like the light's coming from that angle. Alright, so basically inked and shaded this shit in 51 minutes while also talking. So you know, these are just my hard shadows, my cell shaded shadow. I'm definitely going to add like a kind of ambient shadow toward the bottom. Probably add a glow light at the top. Actually, I could actually dump that ambient shadow in right now. While I'm sitting here talking, instead of just bullshitting. And just make this a little bit more of a darker, because I'm going to linear burn that shit. Something like that I can live with. I just drop it a little lower. I still want it to feel deliberate. Too much. Too much. There it is. It's too much saturation in there. What's up, everybody that just joined? Thanks for joining the chat. Oh, the stream. Appreciate it. Thank you, Prince Alec Chan. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the chat. I fucking love the way that starts anyway. Actually, I wanted that to be light. I'm gonna go back to what that was. I have to pull that one down. Just tell me what it was. Tomorrow morning I will color this. So, add a little bit of ambient shading. I inked and did some cell shading, 55 minutes. For people who watch this, hopefully you'll get a little bit of insight into kind of how I do a little bit of my cell shading. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Peace.